I draw, you draw, we're both artists. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking just like, that's right, you guessed it. Today I'm taking your rough sketches, your rough designs, your rough concepts, and I'm taking it past the finish line. I'm gonna finish your sketch in my style. I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna render, I'm gonna make your character shine. Yes, maybe I'll change some things. Yes, maybe you'll yell at me in the comments. We'll see what happens. So as you may or may not know, I have a Patreon Discord where people send me stuff for these videos. So sometimes I draw over the stuff that people send me, and you could be part of that. You could join my Discord by joining my Patreon. So let's get started. Ooh, this is a very fun page of sketches by Stargirl. There's lots to choose from. The characters are all very well drawn. And you know I love a fashionable girl. So I think I'll start with something from here. So out of this entire page, this one with the guitar is really catching my eye. So I'm gonna use the sketch as my base and see how I can go from there. I'm trying to block in colors. Do I add a background color? Do I not? I think I'll keep the background white to let the character stand out, so I don't rely on any fun tricks to make you think this is a better painting than I'm gonna make it. After I block in the colors, I'm thinking, okay, these colors are a bit punk, a bit grunge. Let me lean into that direction. You know, this sketch doesn't really give me much in terms of personality. Her eyes are closed, she's vibing, but who is she? So I'm taking some creative liberties here, and I'm gonna give her a punk vibe, starting with a red streak in her hair. I'm changing a few of the shapes here and there to make her anatomy and design work a little bit better. I love the shape of her pants here, so I'm leaning into that tattered look. You know, that back leg isn't very clear, but I see it like as the leg is coming out of the pants, so I'm also gonna lean into that a little bit more. At this point, this back leg looks super weird. I gotta draw on the anatomy to understand what I'm looking at here. So if I raise the hips a little bit, then it'll make a lot more sense. I mostly stick to the sketch's proportions, but I move that back leg out a little bit to create a more dynamic pose and composition. But I also think that the balance is a lot stronger when I do it like this too. I push the entire piece around with the liquefy tool. You know I love a liquefy moment. You know, to get those shapes that I love oh so much. And then to the guitar, and although I'm really interpreting this as a bass, you know, this girl gives me bass vibes. So I'm so sorry I remove all these little string holders. I don't know what it's called. I don't play guitar. And I'm giving it 4 strings. Times like this, I wish I worked with more layers and organized myself a little bit better. I'm trying to paint the bass all basically on one layer, and it's just not doing me any favors. It's a super janky shape, but you know, for 30 minutes, I think I brought this sketch to life. It's super cute. She has a much stronger personality, and I think I stay true to the pose, the overall shapes, and her mood. You know, giving your character a personality can really take it from a fine drawing to a really interesting character. But before I move on to the next drawing, let me tell you about today's sponsor. You know I use Squarespace for my portfolio and shop website. I've been using it for years, and I've never been disappointed. It's so easy to customize with so many templates to choose from, and it always looks professional, and I don't have to know anything about tech or coding to make it work. I also host my shop here where I can manage everything from inventory to sales. It's super simple, and my customers get to use any payment they want, like Klarna, Apple Pay, Afterpay, PayPal, etc., etc., etc. I'm a big fan of having a clear and simple website. So why not go ahead and make your own website with a free trial? And when you're ready, you can use my code JackieDrushko for 10% off your domain or website. Thanks Squarespace for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to painting. All right, so let's look at some more sketches sent over. Ooh, Cake has a nice little sketch dump. This OC has some potential. Let's see what I can do here. All right, so I'm giving myself a time limit with all these drawings at a cool 30 minutes each. As a challenge? No. To finish quicker so I can watch Love is Blind? Yes. I want to flesh out this piece because I like the shape of the tail, but I also think that I can clarify this design a lot more. It's really easy to add just like a bunch of details to OC, but then their personality isn't very clear. So I'm looking here and I see this tail, and the reason I think that she's a sea creature is because her ears kind of look like fins, so I decide she's a sea monster. And I give her a cowboy hat because her pants look like chaps, and her jacket is giving me kind of a Western vibe. So I'm taking a little bit of creative liberty to push this character where I can. So I'm going to give her a cowboy neck hanky as well to tie that theme in together. I'm kind of going for more a muted palette because she kind of looks mysterious with her hand over her hat, so I'm leaning into it. As I'm sketching out the ideas, you know, it's super messy and I don't usually use this brush, so I can't tell if I'm like really digging this approach or it's kind of lame. Texture is a really big thing for me and I love the tail texture, but I really want to introduce cool textures again throughout the piece. So when I'm finding those details, I go back to the original sketch to see what else I can like understand about this character more. So I add some fins to her tail because I think that's what I see in her sketch. I bring in those chaps. I noticed that she's got a braid that I missed, but I don't want to clutter her silhouette, so I pop it out to the side. I think that's fun. And I want to bring the green from her eye whites to the rest of her to make her more, like to have more interesting colors and to really get out of that monochromatic look. So in the end, I move her pose around a little bit. I open her silhouette more, and I think it reads pretty clear now. All right, now let's get to my final sketch of the day. This pose by nycaia immediately jumps out at me. The sketch is super tight, so I wouldn't really be changing much. I just want to focus on rendering it here. So let's give it a go. This piece definitely needs a background color for the energy. She is just screaming to make her hot red, so I must oblige. I block in a lot of warm colors and I pop in a little bit of purple too, because once again, I don't want to be super monochromatic. I think it's just a lot more interesting that way. So I start with her lower body. I don't know why, maybe because her huge thighs are hot. I'm trying to render with a slight more realism here, so adding lots of highlights to indicate sweat and lighting, and getting in some really dark corners too. I lower one side of her skirt to add a little bit of asymmetricalness to her outfit. And I think it's hot. And then at this time, I think it's time to give her face a shot. I'm doing all this super weird. Everything is like 1 or 2 layers. So I'm painting what's in the background first, and then I'm moving to what's in front, like the teeth. Like I start with the tongue, and then on the same layer, I'm drawing the teeth. This makes it super messy and hard to change things, but oh well. I just try to get a rough idea of her face and hair, so once everything's blocked in, I can move on to those tighter details. I want the hands to have more energy, so I repose them a little bit. I also realized that her bottom canines are huge and sticking out in the original sketch, so I must bow to the source material, so I include them, although I made them a little bit smaller than the sketch did, sorry. Don't get mad at me. The face looks crazy at this point. The sketch handles it much better than I do, but don't fret as I tighten it up in just a sec. So at this point, I'm getting in all these little details, also getting a little bit annoyed at this render. All these paintings took me 30 minutes each, so I didn't really have much time to slow down. I didn't get much time to put in nice textures. All my brush strokes are very soft, lots of transparent brushes, etc. And I love, you know, a more crisp drawing, so I try to bring in some sharp edges back in. But, you know, time's up. I'm at 30 minutes, so we're gonna move on. And honestly, I think it looks good. And there you have it. 3 different sketches by 3 different artists and 3 final renders by me. So which one did I interpret best? You be the judge of that. Comment below, I'd love to hear it. And as usual, destroy that subscribe button, smash that like. And if you want to submit your art to my upcoming videos, why not join my Patreon Discord? That'll be pretty cool, linked below. Okay, happy holidays. See you later, bye.